music feed to all my DJs. Please turn up the music. I need more music. I need music. Feed to all my DJs. Please turn up the music. I need more music. I need. If you love the music but you can't get enough. If you know you need the music but you can't get.
It is Together Boston weekend throughout the nightlife scene, the music scene in Boston, you guys, and we are kicking it off proper with some Boston VIPs flow. We are live from Stage Nightclub. Drink different, think different. All goes down here at Stage Nightclub, voted #1 by USA Today as Boston's #1 lounge. This is the indefinable Sterling Golden here on DirtyWaterNews.com, joined tonight by Miss Brazil, Massachusetts, Lisa Batista. Lisa, what is good, babe?
I'm so excited to host with you tonight and meet these guys. Excited for Together Boston as well.
Yes, Together Boston is going to be the move, you guys, all week long. Multi-city celebration of music, art, and technology. And with us tonight to flesh out the whole Together experience for you guys, for the newbies and for the Together maniacs out there who live for it every year, we've got the curator of the artist mix for Together, Mr. NICK MINIERI, industry expert.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to be back on here again. And compilation came together nice. I'm happy to be here and talk about it.
And we also have here tonight the director of operations for Together Boston, my dude here, Mr. GARETH Middlebrook. GARETH, what's the dude?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on Dirty Water. Excited for next week.
It's going to be off the chain, you guys. Now, this is a cliche question, but I think it's obvious for those who are uninitiated about Together Boston and don't feel like going to Google right now, even though it's only a few keystrokes, but whatever. I'll start with you, GARETH, director of operations, sir. For the newbies out there, what is Together Boston?
Wow, that's a question. Together is a lot of things. It's a festival. It's a series of events. It's a movement. It's a collective. It's my baby. But we're in our 6th year now. It's kind of just something that came across in 2009. A bunch of like-minded individuals through parties and like to go out and play music for people. Just decided that Boston needed to have a more significant role in the worldwide scene, and so we decided to, get together, throw one big week where everyone brought big artists, and since then it's just blown up. Now we're, incorporating a lot more into it, trying to get as many people involved as we can, and also doing a lot of more daytime stuff and trying to bring artists into the mix more for, outside of the club and kind of bringing in like experiences that the crowd can really like relate to. That's not just on the dance floor.
Now, I know that in the early days of Together, actually, before we got it adjusted for the springtime, the early Together events were actually held in the winter.
That's correct.
What was that like?
Cold. Yeah, cold. Yeah, the first one I believe was in February. We moved it up to April, and the past few years we've been doing it in May. But yeah, it did originally start in February. Kind of a weird choice with hindsight, but it was still a great time. We had some really great artists that year. The first artist I think to play Together on the first Monday was Machine Drum, a name at the time that nobody knew of. He was actually billed as part of Sepulture, which was his duo with Braille.
Solid.
But now, he's a name that a lot of people in the underground scene and outside of the underground scene are very familiar with. Yeah. And it worked out, but we did decide to kind of move it a little later in the year for many reasons. One being, school is a big issue, so we kind of put it towards the end of the school year when people might have a little more time to, get involved, help out. There's a lot of daytime stuff that we need, so May has definitely become the spot.
Without a doubt. It's worked out great in the springtime. I mean, so much goes down with Together Boston. Shows, seminars, record expos, competitions, and we'll hear all about that tonight on the Boston VIP show. In fact, Lisa Batista here, I know you have a question for Mr. Nick Dog about the artist mix.
I do.
Take it away.
Thank you. So, Nick, I'm really excited with the artist lineup. So I was looking at the lineup, and I just wonder, how do you go about selecting these artists? I mean, they look like they are the best in the scene in Boston. What's your criteria for choosing the final artists?
Right. Well, it's interesting the way the artists came together this year. And what my initial vision for the compilation was, I wanted to get 25 artists on board, but I wanted to have half of those artists, or roughly 12 or 13 of them, be artists who have never appeared on a compilation before. And naturally, I always try to reach out to people who are really talented, really well known, who are interested in getting their work out there, spreading the word organically. And people like John Barrera and Ian Cirrus and Ali Berger and Pat Fontes. We've had a lot of really talented veterans in the scene who we've released every year on these compilations, and I want to continue to have them. But I also reach out to a good number of not necessarily new producers, but lesser known producers who have never appeared on it before, because I want to give them the chance to shine too, and give them, you know, a good chance to be part of something that's very community based, very local based. But in terms of my criteria, I want to get a good range of different styles of music, everything from drum and bass to house to trance to break beats to techno, all different styles within dance music, down tempo, because what Together is about is really reaching out to the entire community and not being nepotist, if you will, like kind of keeping it, instead of keeping it within a small group or a small clique, reaching out to different ranges of people. So it's hard to narrow it down to just 20 or 25 different artists, but I try to be as fair as possible when it comes to who I reach out to, and just trying to represent as much of the scene as possible, you know, painting a broad stroke with a thin brush, if you will.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we're including all the Boston artists. Thank you.
Yes, Nick, always solid job with the artist mix.
Thank you.
You know,
I'm looking really forward to it. There's good music on it, and it's a very tight-knit compilation this year, so.
I'll miss the vinyl, though. I will miss the vinyl.
Yeah, it does release next week on Together's SoundCloud, so it's soundcloud.com/together. And you go on there, and we're going to have free downloads every single day. There's 22 tracks plus a DJ mix, and each day of the week, there's going to be 5 or 6 tracks that release on each consecutive day. So check it out, Together, or it's on togetherboston.com. There'll be links on there as well.
When we return to the Boston VIP, show you guys more on Together Boston. And I want to find out what's going on this year as far as new things are concerned, and also discuss what this week coming up we're looking forward to most. So you guys stay tuned. We're paying some bills right now. When we come back, more on Together Boston on the Boston VIP show.
This is it, right here. This is it. This is going worldwide. Dirty Water. The best. The best.
The Baseball Tavern in the shadows of Fenway Park is Boston's best sports bar.
Baseball Tavern's been here for 50 years. My dad started with my Uncle Lenny. I'm continuing the tradition.
With 4 floors of entertainment, the Baseball Tavern has it all.
Here at the Baseball Tavern, it's just everybody getting together, having a good time.
People from around the country say, oh, we went to the Baseball Tavern. It's tremendous.
The roof deck overlooking Fenway will make you think you're in the bleachers.
Well, I said take it off, and she kind of did. Yeah, the shades are off. The shades are off. Okay, that'll work. Lisa Batista over here, Mr. Golden over here, Boston VIPs. We're discussing Together Boston, the 6th annual edition, which begins on Sunday at Middlesex Lounge. And we have a hell of a lineup for the opening party, including for me, one highlight from the opening party coming up this weekend is my friend Andre Oben will be on the stage on Middlesex Lounge. And there'll be other treats going on at the opening party as well. Gareth, what's going on besides Andre the Giant? Oben. I love you, Andre, seriously. Okay, what's going on?
Well, Andre's obviously a really good friend of ours. We've been working with him for years. We're all big supporters of his music. He's a real trooper and really, tries hard and gets it out there. We also have a relatively, small departure from our usual sort of programming for the opening, but Andy Stott, who's been around for a very long time, he's kind of held down some of the indie side of electronic music. He's a big Pitchfork and other blogs like that are big fans of his. So that should be a really special, intimate show at the Middlesex Lounge. Kind of a smaller venue, but we wanted to keep it that way. Last year we did the same venue for our opening party, and it was really nice.
Bob Diesel last year.
Yeah, Bob Diesel, along with a lot of other big veterans, kind of dedicated that one to Frankie Knuckles.
That's right.
Which is a really special party. But this year, Andy Stott's going to be holding it down as a headliner. It's going to be a really special show. You'll definitely want to try and get there early. It is subject to capacity, so you want to get there early, get your spot, and then just hang out. And then a really awesome local guy, Will Mayo, is DJ Won't. He's the curator at the new Deep Thoughts JP record store. It's not so new anymore, but it's a great record store, one of the few that we have in this town. And he'll be holding down the main opening slot before Andre.
Now, I also want to point out, too, that among the highlights of the opening party is NickyDigital.com has their Smile photo booth. Yeah. And you want to check that out because you want to see how many facial expressions Paulina can do. I love that shit.
She's a star.
Yes, and myself and Lisa will be there this Sunday at the opening party. And Lisa has a couple more questions before we close out tonight.
So this question goes to the both of you guys. So in the 6-year history of Together Boston, this year's lineup seems like the most impressive. But to you guys, who are you looking forward to most to see?
That is a really tough question every year. There's a lot of great artists. There's some returning artists. There's a lot of great local artists, and I can't stress enough how proud we are of them and to be able to put them on the same lineup as some of these worldwide touring artists. Names like Martin and Sasha, really kind of stand out to a lot of people. But for me, there's a new guy from Canada named Project Pablo. He came out with an album, his first album this year. Never heard of him. It's on a label called 1080p from Vancouver. A really cool group of people. They release a lot of cassette tapes now for some of their releases. And Project Pablo's album for me is just really like, the whole way through it really draws you in. I listen to it, some of it at least every day. I listen to it in the shower and at work. I play it for my friends. So that one I'm really interested to see like how he takes that style and incorporates it into a live setting and a dance floor setting. So that's the one I'm kind of highlighting for myself. And I also I'm going to try and pick him up from the airport and kind of best friend him for a little while, show him around town. But yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
So point, we have 2 minutes left in our show, but real quick, the last show of Breakbeat Lou.
Yeah.
That's going to be my highlight for next week. But Nick, close it out for us.
Yeah, very similar to Gareth. There's going to be a lot of good headliners, and obviously Sasha, Soul Clap, the big names I want to see. But the one I want to see the most is actually DVS1, who's playing on Monday night with John Barrera, Middlesex. And because I've been going to Movement Festival the last couple of years, I've really developed an appreciation for a lot of the music coming out of Detroit. And DVS1's musical aesthetic kind of replicates a lot of what happens in Detroit, like a very brutalist sound, very stripped down, very raw. And his sound, it's a little more aggressive. It's very techno-oriented, but I've sort of developed an appreciation for that sound being around Detroit for a little bit now, and I've never seen him play before, and not somebody I get to see in Boston every day, so I'm kind of stoked about it.
I'm very excited to see these artists as well.
That's right. It's going to be an amazing time, Lisa. I'm looking forward to it. I know you are as well.
You guys come out.
Come out, and there's going to be, again, shows, expos of records. We're talking seminars, a VJ competition as well.
That'll be on the Tuesday night at the Middlesex Lounge before Heartthrob with Gina Turner. We do have a 2-hour VJ competition where you can come in. We're blacking out the windows. The skylights will be blacked out. We've got these very, very high-powered projectors, and we had the first one last year at Wonder Bar. It was a huge success. A lot of talent there. And this year we're kind of changing it up, going to make it darker, a little bit more techno underground sort of vibe. And then right after that will be the return of the Heartthrob.
Very cool, you guys. Together Boston, the 6th annual edition, begins on Sunday night. Middlesex Lounge and goes all week long. Multi-city experience celebrating music, art, and technology. If you ain't there, y'all are at the wrong party flow. Nick Minieri, thank you for being here this week.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it, again, for having me on.
Yes, Gareth, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Really excited to be here and really love what you guys are doing with the scene.
So I want to make a quick note before we close out tonight. This is actually going to be the last Boston VIPs of our current format, actually, because in 2 weeks we are back with an all-new, all-different Boston VIPs experience, as Lisa Batista here knows already.
Yes.
It's going to be an all-new
Very
experience.
excited to host with you. And the new format, you guys are going to love it.
That's right. We have a third member of the NWO coming through. It's not Hulk Hogan. It's somebody else. So you all check it out. In 2 weeks from now, the all-new Boston VIPs experience here on DirtyWaterNews.com. Lisa Batista, the indefinable Sterling Golden. Keep the faith in Sterlingtology. Y'all can trust. Peace.
Music feed to a maxi chase. Please turn up the music. I need more music. I need music. Feed to all my DJs. Please turn up the can't get enough. Yeah, you know you need the music, but you can't get